Hey, and welcome back to another segment of Get Outside St. Tammany. My name is Will Afton, and I work with the Lsu Ag Center here in St. Tammany Parish. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about butterfly gardening. It's definitely one of the hottest trends in gardening today. When our children come home from school, they can recite to us the different life stages of a butterfly. So we're almost immersed in it every day. Butterflies are excellent pollinators. Some of the world's greatest scientists were avid butterfly collectors, so it's definitely been appealing to us humans for a long time. And nowadays we can actually garden to attract butterflies, and that's basically what butterfly gardening is we're creating environments to maintain and sustain butterfly populations. You can even plant certain things to attract certain butterflies. So. Anyway, to get started with butterfly gardening in general, just kind of understand the four life stages of a butterfly. Obviously, we all start from somewhere, so there's an egg stage. And then once that egg hatches, you have the larval stage, which is the juvenile form. And once that juvenile matures, you go into the pupa stage. And most of us would probably remember, making a cocoon, where that butterfly then, changes its whole body structure and emerges as the fourth and final stage, the adult stage. That's where we see the nice colorful patterns, the different wing patterns, all those adult butterflies that go around feeding on the flowers of nectar-producing plants, acting as pollinators. So, fully understanding that life cycle, you can start to create an environment in your backyard to accommodate butterflies. The first half of that whole life stage, the egg and larval stage, butterflies are somewhat unique in the environment is that these adult butterflies, they lay eggs onto certain plants. We call these plants host plants. That's where they're going to lay their eggs, where those eggs will hatch into what we call caterpillars, and the caterpillars feed on the leaves of these plants. So by choosing specific host plants in your garden, you can actually attract certain species of butterflies to that area. Once the caterpillar goes through and hits its maturity stage, it'll then crawl off to form its pupa or cocoon near the garden, and then once that butterfly fully happens, that cocoon opens, and our adult butterflies fly around. The whole reason for adult butterflies is, of course, mating, but they fly around to flowers. They feed on nectar as an energy source. So a butterfly garden should include a huge array of just different nectar flowering plants to feed those adult butterflies. We've brought some props for you today. Just to name a few, these are things that we found out in the garden center. We got a mix of different nectar plants and host plants. So just to kind of start out with maybe some of the more popular host plants. This plant over here, this big vining plant, we don't have any blooms on it, but everybody should know this plant. This is passion flower. Passion flower is a very, very intricate flower, very beautiful flower. Everybody talks about it, raves about it, but passion flower is a host plant for the Gulf fritillary butterfly. The Gulf fritillary looks a lot like a monarch. However, there are differences, but it's a very common butterfly that we get here in the southeast region of this country along the Gulf Coast. Always need to have some passion flower vine planted in the garden to host those Gulf fritillaries. To my right here, we have I got several different kinds and a few different species. When you look up any publication on butterfly gardening, you're going to hear about milkweed plants. So we have a variety of milkweeds. This is probably the staple in a butterfly garden. Milkweed plants are the host plant for monarch butterflies, probably the most popular butterfly in existence. Right here, this taller growing one with the red and orange flowers is what we call tropical milkweed. But then there's native milkweeds to Louisiana. So here's some of what we call swamp milkweed back here, and then many other various types. But basically, it's a host plant for the monarch butterflies. So those larval caterpillars, they feed on those leaves, but the flowers also produce an abundance of nectar. So it's a the flowers itself will attract the adult butterflies to feed on them. One bad rap that this tropical milkweed gets is that it's, some people say it's harmful. It's actually harmful to the monarch butterfly, when in all reality, it's just a plant that's, it's not from here. It kind of grows out of region. It's a very hardy plant, okay? A lot of times tropical milkweed plants will retain their leaves almost all winter long. And if that plant has leaves on it, those adult monarch butterflies will lay their eggs there. As opposed to some of our more tropical milkweed varieties like the swamp milkweed that goes completely dormant in the wintertime. So that butterfly, once that food source dies down, that butterfly knows to migrate south. So, and also too, with the fact that monarchs can lay so many eggs and have so many generations on this tropical milkweed too, there's actually a protozoan organism that causes issue with the adult monarch butterflies, and it will build up numbers on the tropical milkweed. So one easy way to avoid this is to about November 15th, or whenever we get that first good frost of the year, go ahead and just cut all your tropical milkweeds down, bury them with mulch, and kind of help it out in going dormant for the wintertime. And then we won't see those issues as much. So tropical milkweed is it's a great plant for the butterfly garden. However, with all the negative aspects, there's a few things that we can do to get past that. Now, just some other plants. So those are very popular host plants, and there's other plants out there that we don't have examples of here today. One would be citrus. We all grow citrus in St. Tammany Parish: satsumas, navel oranges, kumquats. Citrus is a host plant for the giant swallowtail butterfly. Anybody growing citrus has probably noticed the caterpillars on the branches have a very characteristic camouflage pattern. They look like bird droppings on the twig, and they'll feed on leaves. But the butterfly is quite beautiful. So you got the citrus tree host plant, and then there's many more. Check out the butterfly gardening publication with the LSU Ag Center to learn more about the different species of butterflies and their host plants. And just to quickly go through, there's a lot of nectar-producing flowers that we can grow in our South Louisiana gardens. One being porterweed. Porterweed is a type of verbena, purple flower. Probably is an excellent nectar producer, so good butterfly attractor. Lantana, very colorful, vibrant flowers. As long as we have somewhat dry periods, lantana just blooms profusely all summer long. Good hardy perennial plant to grow here in the South. Pentas. Pentas are a well-known bedding plant for the warm season, so they look good all summer long. Butterfly red pentas attract millions of butterflies, so a good attractor there. You also got a lot of your herbs. If you let your herbs go to flower, those herb flowers produce a lot of nectar and can attract all types of butterflies. I've got there's native plants out there. In the back here, this yarrow, great nectar producer. And then this plant right here is Monarda. Monarda is a native plant that produces flowers that attract all types of pollinators, including butterflies. And so, we have a lot of plants here. You don't just have to buy plants. You can also find things in seed form. So our native purple coneflower, Echinacea purpurea, very common seed that you'll find in the nursery. Think of sunflowers. Sunflowers are great butterfly attractors. And then you can even find good wildflower mixes that produce a lot of flowers. So anyway, take all of this into consideration. Make sure to mix in host plants along with nectar plants. And also, provide a way for the butterflies to get water, whether it be a little bird bath, a plant saucer filled with water, or something of that nature, because they all need to drink. They also need some structure too, some habitat, so some large shrubs where maybe they can rest without being blown around in the wind would be a good addition. So for any more information about butterfly gardening, or if you have specific questions about the butterfly garden in your backyard, feel free to contact us at the LSU Ag Center, the website lsuagcenter.com. You can also call the direct line at 985-875-2635. And you can also visit the St. Tammany Master Gardener Association's website at www.stmastergardener.org.